Mhm.
Hi, everybody. This is Erica from In the Company of Cards with Sheilaa Hite. I know you all have been looking forward to this episode. We actually did this episode and then I forgot to hit record, but we are going to reprise it because as Sheila assures me the material is all the same, the information is the same, the sky that we're going to be looking at is the same. So welcome back, Sheila Hite. The audience loves you, as do I.
Well, thank you, and I'm happy to be back.
You're a
Mhm.
good sport. I was like,
Mhm.
how do I tell her I didn't hit the record button? But here we are. We hit the record button. This will go up
Mhm.
as soon as we are finished recording. And
Mhm.
so I asked you here because we are on the cusp of our 250th birthday. I won't talk about the
Yes.
other birthday that is happening today.
Mhm.
I understand that Mother Nature has taken care of the gifts that all of us would love to give, had we been invited. So that's
Mhm.
great. But we want to talk about this 250-year arc, where we've been, where we're
Yes.
going from an
Mhm.
astrological planetary perspective. So what can you tell us?
Well, wow. So I'm going to jump in with we have, everybody has, and everything has a natal or a birth chart. The start of anything, the birth of anything, there is a map that we take from the sky and we interpret down here to see what is likely to happen, to see what the indicators are telling us. And then every birthday, we have what's called a solar chart. And that means every year, at the same degree that your birth date was in when you were born, we cast a chart for that. And then we can read what your year is likely to be like. It's great for prediction. It's great to know whether you need to spend freely or whether you need to save.
Now, is that
It's
called a
great to know.
transit?
No, those are different. Transits, similar to transits, and but it's for the moment. So in astrology, there are 30 degrees in every sign.
Mhm.
So, say on Virgo Street, there are 30 degrees, and I like to call it a street when I describe it because on in each house has a number. So on Virgo Street, there are 30 houses, one for each degree, and you'll know where you are in your birth sign and where you are in the map by the number on your house.
Oh,
So
I
the
like that.
US and everyone else has what's called a solar return chart. That's
Okay.
on your birthday. And so what we're looking for the solar, the sun, returning to the exact degree when you were born.
Hmm.
And that isn't necessarily the exact day. It can be the day before, the day of, or the day after, because it's that degree. So when we find that degree, we do a chart for that. And
Okay.
that then tells us what is likely to unfold for you
Okay.
for the next 12 months.
Okay.
So what I've done is I did, of course, the US chart. We call it the Sibley chart because someone named Sibley said, is it. This is the chart we're using. And there are a couple of US charts, but this is the one that's used most.
Sibley chart.
Then I did a solar return chart for July 4th, 2026.
Hmm.
And that gives us it'll tell us now. So you can kind of overlay these charts, but yes, but no. The
Hmm.
sun degrees are the same. Like the degree of the sun for the US is 13 degrees.
Okay.
And everything else may not be at 13 because it's been 250 years.
Hmm.
But we'll see how everything is relating to that 13 degrees this year of July 4th. And we'll see how everything that's in today's chart, we don't call it the transits when it's a solar return, is relating to when we were born,
Hmm.
July 4th, 1776.
Okay.
So there are some pretty intense I would certainly like to say that it's going to be a really calm, benign year. And I could say it, but I'm not going to because I would be telling you that just because there are clouds doesn't mean it's going to rain.
Okay.
How much rain, we don't know. So if you'll pardon me a second. So the first thing I noticed is there are two planets that are very close together and they're volatile planets. So there's the planet Uranus, sometimes called Uranus or Uranus. I call it Uranus. That planet is the planet of unpredictable, uncontrollable wow.
Hmm.
And I didn't say wow, I said wow,
Hmm.
because you never know. It's the planet of the hurricane. It's the planet also of divine insight. It's the planet of the humanitarian. It's what makes people get up and say, enough already. It's the planet of the rebel. It's the planet of genius. Uranus, Uranus is another way of saying we don't know what's going to happen, but it's already started to happen. And oh my God,
Hmm.
that's Uranus. Is together, we call that conjunct. It's from Latin, I think, yes, the Latin, which means together.
Right.
The planet Mars, which is a planet of not only how we take action, but it is the planet of discord. And when I say discord, I'm being polite. It's the
War.
planet of confrontation. Yes, war. Mars is the god of war. It is the planet of arguments and anger. It's also the planet of passion, and passion can be a positive thing as well as a really stressful thing. So Uranus, we don't know what's going to happen,
Hmm.
is together with, oh my God, did you see that explosion? And that's on the day of the US's birth. Now,
Wow.
then I look back at the US's starting in 1776, and Uranus is together with the planet Mars in the same signs, Gemini. Uranus and Mars are together in the US's natural natal chart in Gemini. On the 250th anniversary of the US, Uranus and Mars are together in Gemini. This means that warlike talk, warlike talk, pardon, warlike talk, warlike actions. It means people can say things that they don't mean, or they can, let's put it this way, they can let their mouths write a check that nothing else is going to cash.
Now, what is that? Is that the Gemini part of it, or is that
That's not only the Gemini, it's the Mars Uranus part. The
okay?
reason it's the mouth part is because it's Gemini.
Gemini.
Because
Yeah.
Gemini is communication.
Yeah. Okay.
So yes, you hit it right when you did the hand signal. It
Yeah.
is about just the yes.
Yeah.
So that is like to me, that is the biggest thing that is likely to happen. Um, and it's for so each chart, and I'll just give you a brief, it's you really can't see a lot because it's small, but this is the US, the original, pardon me, the original US chart. And this is the solar return chart.
Huh.
So then I put them together. I put the US in the middle, and then I put the US, the solar chart around it. So here is the US in the middle, the
Right.
natal chart, and then this is the solar chart. And I see how different planets affect in different places.
Okay.
So that um, Uranus, Gemini, Uranus Mars connection is falling out. We say falling out is happening in the sixth house. The sixth house is below the horizon. And below the horizon means you can't really see what's going on, but something's going on behind the scenes or under the covers.
Now, isn't that the
So
house of health?
it is one of the things. It's the house of health. It's the house of, it has to do with soldiers.
Oh, okay.
It has to do with details. It's the house of, it's the little nitpicky things.
Mhm. Okay.
So, and it's also a house of communication.
Okay.
So the sixth house is a house of communication. The sign Gemini is falls in the natal sixth house of the US. So there are going to be some things behind the scenes, some strings being pulled, some
Hmm.
details omitted,
Hmm.
or some details, some overstatement of details, which seems to me that exaggeration with Uranus,
Hmm.
exaggeration is, I think, the word I would use. So there are things that will go on, and I say here the government it is and will remain unstable. Also, the public can get fed up and take definite steps to make change. Um, and it's that Uranian humanitarian, Uranian rebellion, Romanian. That's enough of that. Coming together with Mars, we're not talking anymore. We're going to do something. Now, Uranus and Mars and Gemini, truly, we're going to do something. We're going to talk about it or we're going to scream about it.
Hmm.
But there's likely to be a lot of action.
Hmm.
So I
Unexpected,
feel
unexpected, unanticipated.
because nobody knows when you look back at revolutions, nobody really knows
What lights the match?
what likes exactly. And with Uranus, here with Mars, I feel that there's going to be the match is going. I think the match is already lit. I think somebody's going to hold up the torch. And that's what I'm seeing here.
Now,
Now, in one,
when you say somebody,
mhm.
I mean, we've had a lot of somebodies around the world. We've had South Korea, we've had Bulgaria, we now have, um, what is that? What is the place? What is the place that they're going to build the? It's off you near Yugoslavia. What is that country
Well,
called?
Albania,
Albania, Albania.
mhm,
I mean, we've had a lot. We've had a lot of countries
mhm.
who we've said, "Oh, look at this." I mean, they are showing us something. Could that be sort of the ripple preliminary sort of shaking of the ground?
It can be the shaking of the ground because we really, with Uranus, you don't know. So I can't say, oh, it'll be the US and the government against the people, which the government's already against the people.
Right.
And I can't say it'll be the people saying, enough of this crap. We're going to do something about it. With Uranus, what you do know is something intense is brewing. And it's really important. Now, the other thing that it's important to note is in the US chart,
Hmm.
the planet Uranus is in the sixth house. So you've got the current, here it is at this point, Uranus moving right up to here. So that means
Right.
there's going to be a conjunction,
Collision.
Uranus conjunction. Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And with Mars in there, it's likely to be some stone throwing. It's likely to be some explosive, fiery something.
So a lot of astrologers have talked about July being,
Mhm,
not just because of El Nino, a very hot month, um, astrologically speaking.
mhm.
So that would explain that. So you
That
don't
would
think this
help
is
to explain it. Yes.
so this is not necessarily, well, definitely apparently not something that we have to wait around to have happen like till the midterms, for example.
Mhm.
Like it could happen,
Well, no.
it can be
Yes.
as soon as the 4th of July.
It could be sooner
Sooner. Oh yeah, you said
because
before or after. Yeah.
things don't happen in a vacuum. They have lead up
Yeah.
time and they have the peak and then they have release. So even though on July 4th this will be happening, it's actually started happening now because it's
Hmm.
in the sign.
Hmm.
And plus which we've got the double whammy of today's or transiting Uranus and also the solar return Uranus together or conjunct the US's natal Uranus. It's like if you have a sore spot on your arm,
Hmm.
it's there, it's sore. But if nothing bumps it, it's a drag to deal with it and try and lift your arm. But Uranus is going to come along with Mars and bump that spot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at that point, you have to decide what you're going to do. Are you
Because
going
you
to
can't
say,
ignore
wow,
it.
it hurt? Oh,
Right.
no, you cannot ignore
Right.
it. It
Right.
has to be dealt with. So this is already happening. And it may not happen July 4th, but
Hmm.
by the midterms, something will have happened. The
Will
fact
have
that
happened. Okay.
Yes, the fact that we have that people are talking about the midterms and the right is worried about the midterms, this is already happening.
Hmm.
This Uranian thing, the action, Mars dictates our action. The action people right now that people are taking is indeed they're talking about it and they're voting.
Hmm.
And we can see that all over the country.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, which is why the action from the right is to try and stop the voting.
Hold on a minute. No, we're good.
Good. Okay. Right.
Just making sure.
Yes, I
Okay,
know.
we
I've
can
I've been
record.
there too. It's like, oh, yes,
No, 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 we're good. We're good.
yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Mhm. So
Um,
the ascendant, I want to also tell you that the solar return chart, and this is way important. The US is ascendant, and your ascendant, let me tell you about ascendant. The ascendant or the rising sign.
right,
That's how something plays out. That's
appears.
how we see it. How it not only appears, how action is initiated, how other people first encounter it, how they
Perceives.
see it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the ascendant of the US is at the natal chart is 12 degrees of Sagittarius. Now, the opposite sign for Sagittarius is Gemini. Well, the ascendant of the solar return chart is 9 degrees Gemini. It's called a conjunct, they're not, but an opposition. So when we began as the US, we had a lot of power. We had a whole lot going for we just really held a lot of stuff and we could make a lot happen. Well, things have switched because whereas we used to have Sag rising and we were lucky and we were blessed and we were
And
expansive.
adventurous and everything
And
was
yes,
possible. Yeah,
yes, all of the Sag philosophically, we had a great plan. We didn't have a plan. We just had a great game. We talked
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because underneath and not far underneath was ooh, rotten. Now then, here with the solar return chart, the shoe is on the other foot now, where we had the power and we were the power and we now we have to communicate. We need to listen. We need to not just talk as what was that Theodore Roosevelt said, walk tall and carry big sticks,
Yeah, well,
something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Well, we now need to listen.
Because
We
wait,
can
what's
talk.
so we're not is we're the natal ascendant was in
Mm,
is Sagittarius, but
yes.
the one now is what? The
Is the in the opposite sign.
wait,
Sagittarius. Now it's the opposite. It's in Gemini.
Gemini. Oh, okay,
So,
got it.
yes. So the US, it's not about being expansive or even volatile because Sagittarius is fire, so it can be volatile. It's in Gemini. We need to listen.
Listen
We
and
need to
talk.
speak. We
Yep,
need to communicate, not yell at people. We're used to, as a nation, telling everybody what to do and
yeah.
not caring how they feel about it. That's not the case anymore.
So the way that I always phrase it is that
Mhm,
I feel like we need to be right-sized in the world.
mhm,
You know, we talk about American exceptionalism and the
mhm.
city on the hill and God's blessings upon us. And we sold that whole thing to ourselves and to the world. And that
Yes,
was very Sag oriented. Now we're being told, shut up and listen. You know,
yes.
know your place. I hate to use that
Not
expression.
even know your place, just know that you're not the only person in the room.
Well, right. Right. But
Hmm.
that is we
Hmm.
think our place is the top of the heap, and we're
Yes,
told
exactly.
that is not your place.
Hmm.
Maybe consider this a game of musical chairs, and you may find yourself in a chair you didn't expect, or maybe not with a chair at all. That's
Yes.
interesting. I
Or
mean,
maybe not.
that's good.
Excuse me, the way we're playing it, people are removing chairs. Other people in other countries are removing chairs.
We're moving
They're
chair.
aligning with they're aligning with others like them, which is to say they're aligning with everybody who isn't us.
Yep. Yep.
And that is something that we as a nation worked on for 250 years. We worked on making sure when we needed to reach out to people, nobody wanted to reach back. And we continue to use that same policy. That's the policy. Now, what has to happen? I do feel that the majority of people are finally aware of it. People were not aware of it. You're right. We bought the program.
Hmm.
We bought it. And you said we were sold this. And that's what Sag is. Sagittarius is a great salesperson.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
we were sold this whole dream thing, but it's not really a dream. There's an actuality that Sag can bring about that's like, yes, we can make all of that real, but we never as a nation bothered.
So let me ask you this. So, I mean, this is very rudimentary, but that's okay. So I'm thinking of, the wheel or the astrological whatever. We cannot say, "Oh, rewind." Like we can't rewind it and say, "Oh, maybe we did it wrong." Because now because the wheel is turned and now it's Gemini, and then from Gemini it'll move to something else, but the something else is not going to be Sagittarius anytime soon.
Oh, no time soon. No.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So now, when I spoke about Uranus and Mars, I
Yeah.
told you what was going on with the current Uranus and Mars together,
Yeah.
conjunct in Gemini, and how they are right on top of the natal, the 1776 chart, Uranus and Mars. Well, when you look at the solar chart all by itself,
Hmm.
remember I said it's predictive.
Yep.
What you see is Uranus and Mars in the 12th house. Now, the 12th house is behind, it's what you can't see. It's back here. No matter how I turn
Oh.
my head, it's back here.
I remember you said this when we tried to do this the first time, this recording,
Mhm.
and that was scary because, in real life, I mean, I kind of totally get what what you meant, because what you said is there are wheels within wheels, there are things going on that you think you can see, but you can't see. And matter of fact, you can't even imagine the things that you can't see.
Yes,
So,
I would say that's exactly it. The 12th house rules many things, including deception
yeah,
and fog. It
yeah,
rules spirituality too. We could pull it together, yes,
yeah,
but it rules that. Now you've got the planet of anything is going to happen,
yeah,
Uranus, together with the planet of war or disruption
yeah.
in the house that's it's
Ooh,
yes, we don't know.
yeah, we don't
So
know.
this lets everybody, I hope everybody is aware. People are so complacent, they're waiting for something to happen. Something happens every day.
Hmm.
This thing that's happening right back here,
Hmm.
it's not like we can't tell it's happening because it's loud. It's like having upstairs neighbors and they are loud. They wear
Right,
heavy boots all the time. You know when they're moving around.
right.
Well, this with Uranus and Mars, these are those neighbors. We know something's happening. We know something's going to. So many people are in denial because they just don't want to deal with it. And that is not helping the case at all. We need to be prepared.
Now,
Many things are
okay,
going to happen.
so we need to be, the metaphor that comes to mind was when I first moved to to California, and I was
Mhm,
sitting minding my business, and I knew in space where I was. I mean, I knew what was around me and the neighborhood and all of that. And all of a sudden, I felt something that I had felt when I lived on the East Coast, especially in
mhm,
Princeton. I lived very near a train station.
mhm,
And so over time I acclimated to the sound, but and I'm saying, so I heard that, I felt this rumbling, and I thought, I don't remember there's a train station anywhere near where I'm located.
mhm.
Because you know what it was? It was not,
Yes,
it was an earthquake.
exactly.
And I mean,
Mhm,
so you can think because you try to orient yourself in terms of what you're used
mhm.
to, your life experience, but it's a
Right.
whole different thing,
It's a
which is
whole different
shocking.
thing. Your
Yeah.
first few earthquakes are, I think all of them actually, but your first few earthquakes are, I mean, you have never been shaken. It's like being in a box of cereal and being shaken up.
Yes, and you have no
Yes,
frame of reference because I've never experienced that before. So that's
yes,
definitely the kind of energy you're talking about. You're right.
yes, that is the kind of energy I'm talking about. And make no mistake, we're in the cereal box and it's being shaken.
Yeah.
And what people have to realize is, oh, there are things that I need to do. There's a protocol for earthquakes. There are things I need to do. And we as a people are not doing enough of that.
Hmm.
So there are things that one of the things we have to realize our country is a cancer country because we're born July 4th is cancer time.
Right. It's kind of.
Cancer rules food, it rules
Mhm.
nurturing. Now, the sun in Cancer is trine together with this is in the solar return chart. Trine, which is a very beneficial aspect,
Right.
the moon in Pisces. So this tells me that Cancer, it's first of all the way the sun and the moon operate. Those are the lights in the chart. They operate to say we're leading whatever is happening. They're in water. Pisces is water,
Yeah.
Cancer is
Cancer's
water.
water.
So this says yes, a lot of things are going on under the surface of the water. A lot of emotion and a lot of things that we actually can predict, but we may decide we want to go deeply into denial with all that water.
That Pisces there, yeah.
Yes, the Pisces. Now, Cancer rules food,
Yep.
sustenance. And the Cancer is on the second house of the solar return chart. So it's literally the second house is the house of what our possessions and
And
what we value.
yeah, yeah. And food,
So,
food is part of
and
that.
food, yes. And you can see as we move March up to the solar return, July 4th, farms going out of business.
Right.
We can see food, people being priced out of food. There's going to be more of that. There will be more increase in that. Um, and there are ways you can follow around the chart. And each one, it's kind of like the story unfolds.
Right.
And so you go to this place and to this place and to this place in the chart. And what I see is food and money, because that's the second house, which is
Yeah, that's
money
true.
as well.
Okay, yeah.
They can become scarce. And what we have to do is, I think we need to as individuals and as a group, we need to start not hoarding, but you need to think 3 months ahead.
Hmm.
You just need to plan 3 months ahead.
Okay, you all heard that. 3 months
Yes. So
ahead.
canned goods, dry goods,
Water.
plan 3 months ahead. Water. Yes. Water is very important.
Well, water,
Water is
you
going
know,
to
I'm
be big.
thinking about when you talk about food shortages or farmers, and I mean, there's soybeans, which we cannot sell because nobody will buy them. Um,
Mhm.
Screw worm in the meat
And the
supply.
Texas cattle, which is going to go everywhere.
That's
So
right. That's
it's
right.
not
And
just
then,
Texas cattle.
no,
It's,
no.
yes.
And then I'm thinking about these big data centers
Mhm.
that suck up millions of gallons of water. And when people complain, the government says, "Well, we'll just do it after midnight." What are you talking about? Doesn't even
It's
make
still
sense.
happening.
This doesn't make any sense. But there
No.
are people who are hypnotized enough to say, "Oh, well, okay, as long as it's when I'm sleeping and as long as when I wake up, I turn on the tap." But the water is being polluted
Yes.
and also sucked out. So, okay.
Mhm. And
And
this is what, yes, go on.
we have somebody, the birthday boy, who says that they love inflation. I love the inflation. So that he's not going to be
Mhm.
any help.
No, it's not a problem for him because he's certainly never going to drink tap water, so no problem.
Right.
The thing is, we have to decide what we value.
Yep, yep, yep.
The the solar return Cancer sun, that's the US's birth date sun, is in the second house of value, and we have to
Mm-hmm,
decide what we value.
mm-hmm,
And then we have to do everything that it takes to take care of what we value.
mm-hmm.
We cannot wait or have someone else come up with, I have a great idea. There are things happening behind the scenes, and I do want to talk about this too. As I said before, with the 12th house. Now, as you know, we've had several days over the last year and a half or so where people got out in the streets, millions and millions and
Yeah.
millions of them. And things have gotten so insane since the last time millions of people got out there. There's the war in Iran. There is all kinds of things happening that and I know there were demonstrations planned for today.
Yeah.
Groups like Indivisible was these groups were behind that, and especially Indivisible. And with everything happening today, and the Uranus conjunct Mars, everything happening today, there would have been 2 to 3 times the amount of people out. People are that upset.
Mm-hmm.
Indivisible suddenly says, this is behind the scenes in Gemini. Indivisible suddenly says, we're canceling all that. We think you should get together in your backyards or your pubs and talk. You should have a barbecue instead.
Uh-huh.
That what is
Mm-hmm.
I am an adult. I've been around for a while. B, I'm an activist. I know how these things go.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that Indivisible, however the pressure was put on, whether it was financial pressure,
Yep.
that is, I'm going to pay you X amount,
Let
or
the
people were
church
threatened.
say amen. That's right.
Yes. So that's another indication of what's not going on.
Okay, so wait a minute. Because I have been saying this and I thought, am I crazy? So, okay, at first they had these garden party demonstrations from
Mhm.
2 to 4 in the afternoon, which I mean, you and I both are like, wait, that's not how we used to do that, and that's
Yes.
not how this is
Hmm.
done, but okay. And then when some of us said, there are other ways to do this, but okay, do you? What is the next step? Because clearly this is supposed to be a scaffolded thing, right? So what's the next step?
Yes.
And when they got enough pressure, they said, well, oh, because we would say we think that the next step should be a general strike or a wide
Mhm.
scale boycott of some particular. Yeah, yeah, that's the next thing. And then we heard nothing.
Yes.
Then what you're telling me is news to me, but of course today is the day, the 14th. This is when it was
Hmm.
supposed to be. I heard that that they decided, no, we're not doing a general strike or anything, but we'll have a concert. There was supposed to be a concert, and I'm saying to myself,
Hmm.
a concert? What's the difference between that and a garden party?
Hmm.
Now,
Well,
I will say
organized music. That's it.
right. But I will say this. I have, of course, the Europeans are like, what is wrong with you people? Wake up. I get that. But
Hmm.
it's also true. People need to be aware of this. Our system is set up with this in mind. In other words, we for us to do a general strike is is a lot scarier of a proposition than it is, say, in Europe. Why? So you do a general strike, and that means you're going to stay home from work. So you stay home from work, and then what happens? You get fired. And what happens if you get fired? You lose your health insurance, and so does your
Hmm.
family. That's all somebody has to say to somebody in order for them to say, never mind, pass me with that. I'm not doing it.
Hmm.
Right.
And what is happening anyway?
Mm-hmm.
People's jobs are being taken away and they're
Mm-hmm.
losing their health
And they're
insurance. It's
exactly
happening anyway.
anyway. That's right.
If you want something and you want that something to happen, you're going to have to risk something.
Exactly.
That's why the laws that we're seeing we're being stripped of now,
Yep.
the laws that are being taken away from us, those laws were gained because people said, well, I'm going to have to risk that.
That's right.
There is no, if you're if you are, people are holding out, maybe it won't be so bad. It's already that bad
That's
and
right.
it's getting worse.
That's right.
And if you don't stand up, then they will keep steamrolling. And you
That's
can
right.
say things like, well, we took his name off the Kennedy Center. I think that's great. I really do. But yeah, and
And
what else are we doing? Because we still have ISIS still out there.
yep.
And all of this is showing up in the chart with Uranus and Mars
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
the ways that Mercury, the chart ruler, is operating.
Mm-hmm.
So Mercury, the chart ruler, Mercury communication. We've
Mm-hmm.
already dealt with that with Uranus and Mars
Mm-hmm.
And Gemini rising. So the ruling planet of the rising sign is the chart ruler. The ruler for the year is Mercury, is together with Jupiter.
Uh-huh. Oh, Jupiter.
Yes, so Jupiter is expansive,
Yeah.
and that can be a great thing, but can also be a not a great thing
Oh,
because expansiveness is an explosion.
depends what expands too.
Yes, exactly. And so
Uh,
there are there are communication issues. So a lot of times with Mercury and Jupiter, people think, oh, it's a party and there'll be my favorite ice cream and cake. But that's not so
mhm.
necessarily. It can also be Mercury and expansion. You can be lied to so broadly
Yeah.
that you think, oh, they can't be lying. Nobody would tell a lie like that. And then you can fall into not taking care of yourself. And if you fall into not taking care of yourself, they've won again. Mercury is all over this chart. It is about how we listen and what we do with what we hear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's already been told that Uranus and Mars are together. Pardon me, Uranus and Mars are together. So Mars, it is about the actions we take,
Right.
not about what we think. That's
Yep.
Gemini. It's not about what we say, even. That's Gemini. It's not about what you say and I hear. That's Gemini. It's about what we do with all of that. And Mars is there to say the actions we take are important. And we're not taking hanging out in a pub or at a barbecue
No.
or going to a concert.
Oh my God. No.
This was the day. This was the day.
Yes,
Now
it
there
was.
will
It
be
was.
other opportunities, but this
This
was the
should have
day.
been. Yes.
So there's a lot everybody needs to realize. And from the chart, that's what I see with the solar return chart, with our natal chart, 1776 chart. I can see a lot and I see how we got here and I see what the problems are. With the solar return chart, each one of the tender spots in that natal chart is going to be hit. And you can only have that happen to so many places on the body before you react, you
Hmm.
come out of it. We need to respond as opposed to react.
Yeah.
And we are not responding,
No.
not as a collective. So there are things happening like the midheaven in the chart. There is the highest point. It's like the noon position on a clock. We call it the midheaven. The midheaven shows your commitment to what you're bringing to the world. And the US's chart midheaven is the sign Aquarius, which is ruled by the planet Uranus. So even it's out there. It says Aquarius, and the ruler of Aquarius is hidden in the 12th house together with Mars, accenting the US's natal Uranus and Mars. Something is going to have to give.
Well, okay. So where does, and again, pardon my rudimentary understanding, but
Mhm.
where does, because I quote this all the time, and it's not that I know what I'm talking about, but I like how it sounds. Pluto and Aquarius, ever since, the year turned, we've been hearing
Mhm.
about Pluto and Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius. So, which to me, I mean, Pluto's also one of those underworldy kind of things, but
Yes.
just huge upheaval, just huge. You can't fix it with a Band-Aid. You can't sew
No.
it back together.
No.
It is
Mm-mm.
destroyed as you knew it, so as to create something new. So is
Yes.
that related to this midheaven situation?
It is related to it because, as you said, Pluto is in the sign Aquarius.
Yeah,
So anything in Aquarius is going to be related to that midheaven, and Uranus, the planet, is going to be related. So you're right. Pluto is the planet of transformation.
yeah,
It is something must go so that something can be born and can live and thrive. Now, this is scary. This is all scary to people. And there are people going, oh my God, that just sounds so scary. It is scary, but it's unavoidable. So
right.
you have one of two choices. Pluto says you will either volunteer.
Or you'll be conscripted.
Oh, yes. And I exactly. You will be dragged by the collar through the
Hmm.
streets.
Hmm.
Now, it does not have to be awful. It can be not what you want. If people get up and take it, you have to, there's the phrase, you need to get in front of it. If we get out in front of it, that stops them.
Right,
If we don't get out in front of it, they think that's permission.
right.
So everybody needs to take, because Aquarius is at the midheaven, the humanitarian. Uranus rules Aquarius, the humanitarian. Both Aquarius and Uranus, the revolution, the rebel.
Revolution. I keep thinking of French Revolution, just keeps coming to mind. And I think of somebody like Elon the trillionaire.
Mhm,
They've said that if you took a stack of
mhm,
$100 bills, not $1 bills, $100
mhm,
bills, put one on the floor, start stacking it up, $100 bills, you could go from the floor to the moon, and
mhm.
that's how much money he has. In other words, that's enough money to give every single person in the world a
Mhm.
guaranteed income, a basic
Yes.
guaranteed income plus health care plus
Mhm,
free education.
mhm.
So when
Yes.
you put it in those terms, I mean, to me, that makes me feel a little
Mhm,
revolutionary
mhm.
towards him and his ilk.
Yes. He and his ilk are doing what that the oligarchs have always done.
Mhm.
It's just that now we have the internet so we can see what they're doing.
That's what you know what? And I always say that too. Why are they doing 20th century crime in the 21st century? What do I mean? Because we see it all. It's like the whole Erica Kirk situation. She's a grifter and a con person, entertainment purposes only, and allegedly, and my opinion. But
Mhm.
why am I saying that? Because it's so obvious. It's in our faces. There's proof positive all over the place. So that's to our advantage is the fact that this
Mhm.
criming is taking place in full sight. But as you say, the question is, okay, well, once we've sat and watched the show, like you see the what, then what? What's your next thing? Because it can't be a
Right.
garden party and a concert.
No, no. There is organization and there are people who want to be more vocal about it. But those people are sidelined by people like Indivisible saying we'll handle it. And
Mm,
then which was fine until we realized,
but they
oh,
weren't handling it.
Indivisible, I'm not saying they have a price, but I'm saying, wow, that's pretty suspicious to me.
Well, yes, I remember I had a viewer who said when I was ranting and raving and saying this is from 2 to 4, I never heard of. And a viewer said, I'm in Indivisible and I think your concerns are valid and I'm going to bring it to my chapter. And I thought, okay, but am I the first person that's noticing this? I can't possibly be. I can't, as you
No,
say, something is rotten. And we need to
something is
stop
rotten.
trusting and assuming that
Mhm.
because something touts itself as a for us organization, that it actually is.
That
Because
it is or
everything
that
is,
it can't be
yeah,
bought.
right. There you go.
Mhm.
There you go.
So I was around with when you could actually see people like Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth or Martin Luther King Jr.
Yep.
You could actually see those people.
Yep.
You could interact with people. I was there then doing those things.
Yep.
And this is not how you, if this has garden party, oh my God, this is not how it's done.
No.
You have to get
No.
out there. I think you said before that the Montgomery bus boycott took 2 years.
Two
This is not
years.
about, we're going to do this on Friday for two
Yep.
hours.
Yep.
It's not about that.
No.
And
No.
the way the energy is being used, and the energy is out there Aquarius, Uranus, Gemini, it's out there. The people are out there. The people want to know, what do I do? How do I spend my energy? Second house, sun. How do I spend my energy profitably? And what has to be done with this Uranus Mars hanging out in the 12th house of secrecy and deception, what has to be done is we have to realize, as long as we keep the lights out in that 12th house, let's turn the light on. Let's
Mhm.
look and see who's back there because it's like the Wizard of Oz.
Well,
There's a small group
yep.
that's creating smoke when there is no smoke.
Right. Right. Well, one of the what people are bemoaning the dismantling, we'll call it, of
Mhm.
legacy media, right? So I'll get people asking me questions like, is legacy media ever going to come back? But again, Pluto and Aquarius, it served its purpose. I grew up with 60 Minutes we used to watch 60 Minutes, Wild Kingdom, Mutual of Omaha's Wild
Yes.
Kingdom,
Hmm.
and then we went to bed and my parents watched the news. So I mean,
Hmm.
I'm getting ready to be 70 years old. So I
Hmm.
understand that it's a storied institution. It was a beloved thing. But the only constant is change. Everything has a shelf life. And what do we have that's Pluto and Aquarius about this? We have the destruction of that by that Barry Weiss and people behind her.
Hmm.
But we also have this rise of citizen journalism, of the internet being used in really interesting, creative ways. And, we don't want to answer a 21st century question with a 20th century answer. So, for example, a lot of people are saying, well, who's going to be the next person to rise up? Who will be our Martin Luther King? Who will be our JFK? Who will be our RFK? Because it's definitely not Junior. Who
Hmm.
who will save us from ourselves? And I think that with Aquarius, I mean, which is technology and all of that other stuff, we have to be the ones to save
Hmm.
ourselves. But
Thank you.
you say that, but then people are like, well, I don't get it. I don't know how do you do that? What am I supposed to do? Well, for one thing, you don't
Yes.
come up with excuses to help the patriarchy by saying, well, if I do a general strike, I'll get fired. Okay. You and everybody
Mhm.
else. Then there's a whole bunch of you fired. What are they going to do? Fire everybody? And if
Mhm.
they do, well, then let's see how things run. Let's see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes. And the thing is, if everybody got fired, everybody, you mentioned the French Revolution, everybody would have something to say about it.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
the whole idea of, well, I'll lose my health insurance. And I'm looking and I'm watching the news and I'm reading and I'm thinking, you're losing it anyway.
Anyway,
It
uh,
takes two or
Mitch,
three people working several full-time jobs
yes.
to pay the rent.
And you have, listen, you have them telling you in out of their mouths in plain sight. What's that little man, the head of the speaker, the Johnson? Johnson
Mhm.
said out of his mouth last week, when we win the midterms, which by the way, they're not going to do, but when we win the midterms, we're going to have to adjust, look at, change Social Security and Medicare. So you all think you have a problem now. You're talking about your SSI is your only income. Well, what are you going to do when your only income is not an income?
Thank you. That's it exactly. What they're going to do is they're going to be out in the streets, which, by the way,
Right.
is now illegal to be homeless in a lot of places.
Yes.
So that means you'll wind up in a work camp,
Yep.
which is a form of slavery.
Yep.
So working for the oligarchs. It's very simple. It happens. It's happened enough. It's happening now.
Yep.
And it's here in the chart. The thing is, there's a saying, the chart does not impel. The chart doesn't compel, it impels.
Impels.
So nobody has to be without a home. Nobody has to be without money. Nobody has to be without health care unless you sit and let the oligarchs decide.
Exactly.
You know,
Well,
it's like you're
it's like
sheep and you're
money.
letting the wolf decide.
That's right. It's like money. Money is ink on paper. The only reason it has value is that we've all agreed that it has value. That's it.
Yes.
Well, we can all, to me, it's quantum physics.
Hmm.
Quantum physics says that everything exists all at once, everything everywhere all at once. So it all exists at the same time. So if that's true, then why do certain things happen? Well, certain things happen because when we when we focus our attention on a specific thing or in a specific direction, the energy follows that, and we all have it's with we're how the atoms work together. The
Hmm.
atoms then, molecules get more densely packed, and it becomes real, where once it was only potential. Well, we as
Yes.
human beings get to decide what is real and what is potential.
Hmm.
We don't need to take other people's word for it. And if we all
Yes.
agree, if enough of us agree that people are, what does it mean? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If you have to go into debt to
Hmm.
pay for medical expenses, if you have to decide between, working more hours or staying home with your child, whatever it is, who gets to decide that? We all get to decide it. And if enough of us move our attention from what we're told we have to believe to what we choose
Yes.
to believe,
Hmm.
that changes reality. I mean, and I know it sounds
Yes.
woo-woo, but it's quantum
It's
physics,
not, it's science.
science.
Yes. So, and it's woo woo. They're the same
Yeah, they're
thing
the
in a lot
same
of
thing.
cases.
Exactly.
Yes. Now, remember when I said that Uranus and Mars were in this US's sixth house?
Yep.
And the sixth house, you said, isn't that health? And I said, it's details, it's soldiers. The sixth house is also employment.
Oh, there you go. There
And the
you go.
10th house is your profession. The 10th house has got Aquarius, therefore Uranus ruling it. There will
Hmm.
be changes.
Hmm.
And the sixth house has Uranus, and it has Uranus and Mars in it.
Hmm.
If we get out in front of it, they can't, the oligarchs, can't threaten us. They can't
That's
hold
right.
anything over our
That's
heads.
right.
But if we sit here and wait, there
There's some
are more
people,
of us than there are of them.
they don't say listen to black women for no reason, you all.
No, they do not say that for no reason, and that's why we have to we have to guard what we are, which is, in a sense, we are guardians,
Yeah.
and we need to guard that. And by that, I mean we need to know just what's going on. and what we and how much of ourselves we have to give to what is or is not happening, and how much we need to hold for ourselves
That's
is
right.
very important.
That's right.
And as I said before, the solar return chart is in Pisces. Pisces is really great. So the moon is your mood. It's the way you're going to go without thinking.
Hmm.
And for the US to have a Pisces moon right now, that Pisces moon, which by the way is at 13 degrees, it is
Oh, okay.
conjunct together with my Pisces moon. I have a Pisces moon at 13 degrees. It's like I'm thinking, oh my. So I'm right there with the stream of what's going on here.
Yeah, yeah.
And what's going on here is Pisces, if you let them know that they're expected to martyr themselves, they're more inclined to martyr themselves. And the people have got to be careful. The US has got to be careful this year that they don't allow martyrdom to be a part of their program. And when I say martyrdom, I'm not talking about making a sacrifice for the long term or for the greater good, because that is
Yeah,
required.
but being
I'm
martyred
talking
for the
about,
oligarchs and the
yes, exactly.
AI, whatever. Yeah.
Mhm, exactly.
Okay.
Now, the positive part of that Pisces moon is there's nothing stronger than somebody who says, wait a minute, if I am invincible and I have more than one or two dimensions, and that's what Pisces has, can operate all over the place and has great power, then nothing gets in the way.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
know that personally, and I know that having watched people, and I know that as an astrologer.
Hmm.
So the biggest things I think we have to acknowledge is, as you said, Pluto is now in Aquarius. It's in the ninth house.
Okay.
The ninth house is it's the house of the philosopher, sure, but it's the house of foreign issues, foreign people, foreign anything. And Pluto is there in Aquarius. We must change the way we deal with other, because it's
Yeah.
not just foreign passport, it's other than me. How do we deal with other?
Yeah.
Not others, but the other.
The other.
So that's why we're seeing a lot of the ugliness, and we're seeing so much ugliness come out, and people are pointing at different religions and different races, and of course different genders, and going, it's your fault. When it's here in Aquarius, it's saying we have to come together as humanitarians. And if you have a problem with that, I'm Pluto, and I'm going to help you, because
So,
Pluto is going to destroy the old paradigm.
so one of the thing, okay, so here's like a real life example of that would be this big controversy or whatever you want to call it, between the Asian community and the
Mm-hmm,
Black community.
mm-hmm.
So, there was that killing of the 14-year-old Black
Yes. Mm-hmm,
boy by the Asian
mm-hmm.
store
Shopkeeper,
manager.
yes.
Yeah. And 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 he got off. I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
got off. The boy, he shot him in the back. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay. On the heels of other things that have gone on, but let's just stick with this Asian Black thing.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that has fascinated and gratified me, I have to say, I've seen a lot of ugliness around it. I know there's a boycott by Black people of Asian establishments, and then a backlash to the boycott. The backlash is, um, you can't boycott us. We own the nail places, the hair places, the food
Mm-hmm.
places, all the places that you go. We own. But I've seen Asians
Mm-hmm.
say they can do whatever they want. You can't
Mm-hmm.
force somebody where to spend their money. And maybe you want to check yourself and realize that whatever proximity to whiteness you think you have has
Mm-hmm.
been has been garnered on the backs of the civil rights movement and Black people. And you might
Yes.
want to say to yourself, who's creating this split? And to whose
Who
benefit
benefits?
does
Yes.
that
Mm-hmm.
accrue? Because it's
Yes.
not Black people, nor is it Asian people.
Mm-hmm.
So you can fight if you want, but
Mm-hmm.
understand that it serves someone else's purpose. And I have to say, I have been really gratified to see that it's not just Black people saying that. It's
Mm-hmm.
Asian people checking
Yes.
other
Mm-hmm.
Asian people. So that
Yes.
I think
Mm-hmm.
that that is really sort of a new way, a 21st century way of saying,
Mm-hmm.
wait a minute, let me not jump and be sort of reactive. Let me think about, wait, what does this look like? Let me step back and
Exactly.
and not. assume certain things just because I've always assumed them because I was told to assume them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I
Yes.
think that's really um, hopeful. That gives me some hope.
Well, I think it's hopeful in a lot of wonderful ways too. I agree with you. And what is happening is the breakdowns have to happen. I
Yep.
remember when you had blacks and Hispanics, and there
Yep.
was partnership,
Yep.
blacks and Jews, and there was
Blacks and
it
Jews.
wasn't
Yep.
just partnership, it was just the knowing that it's us because
Yes.
it's them against us. And
Yes.
I have watched the government go in and separate. I've watched them do it,
Yes.
separate
Absolutely.
these groups, pit them against each other, so that
Absolutely.
now everybody, it's all about me. It's all about this is it. It's you have to get your own because I have to get my own.
Yep.
Nobody's getting anything
That's right.
except the oligarchs.
That's right. That's right.
And you, as you said, the proximity to whiteness is that's the lure, and the big lure to dismantle DEI was to say to the Asian students, "Wow, you can't get into Harvard or Yale because black students are being given preferential treatment.
Right.
So if you help us dismantle it, you'll get in."
Yeah.
Well, they did indeed help, and you know what? Fewer Asians are getting
That's
into
right.
Harvard and Yale
That's right. That's right.
because that was never the plan. The plan was to get, and it worked.
That's
It
right.
worked. I will pit you against them. You will pay no attention to what's really going on. Then, when I get what I want from the situation, I will definitely leave you in the dust.
Yep.
And so it's a chance. What is happening here is the old systems have to fall away. They have to die. And that is so the Aquarian Pluto, which is death and rebirth, transformation. Pluto is an Aquarius. Pluto is saying, first we have to break it all down. It's got to be
Hmm.
rubble. We have to have the earthquake.
Hmm.
Then we're going to take some of that material from the earthquake. Most of it we're going to toss out. We're going to take what is viable and we're going to build, but we won't make that our foundation. That can be a part of. We need a new foundation. We need a new way of going about it. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing it in real time. And that's exactly what this particular chart says. You know, the US's natal chart is has a an Aquarius moon.
Oh, okay.
So Pluto, current Pluto in
Hmm.
Aquarius is starting to rock that foundation.
Yep.
There's nothing that can be done. This can't it cannot hold. It
No,
simply
the
it
center
cannot hold.
cannot hold. No.
No.
I mean, it's
So
scary. It's scary, yes, but it's also
mhm.
very pregnant with possibility.
It is way pregnant with possibilities. And it's scary. You're absolutely right, but there's nothing you can do about it. When people
Exactly.
go, but I say there's nothing you can do about it except decide how you're going to use the energy. And
Exactly.
I've heard people say, well, I'm afraid. And a very wise person said once that fear is energy. Fear and anger are energy. What you do with them, and they're innocent, and what you do with them determines your outcome.
Hmm.
Yes, you're angry. Yes, you're afraid. Now then, take that fear, take that anger, and show up at an organization step, organization, group of like minded people, Aquarius,
Hmm.
show up at their doorstep and
Hmm.
say, I'm here. What do you want done? I remember seeing women get off work, go
Hmm.
home, feed the kids, bring the kids to
Yeah.
the office, and the kids would help collate papers. The kids
Yes.
would help hand out assignments to the workers who went out in the streets,
Yes.
knocked on doors, organized demonstrations.
Yes.
And the mothers were in there making sure that the paperwork was printed up
Yes.
and making the phone calls. That's what has to be done.
Yes. And
They're
let me just
sitting it
say
out will
again,
not work.
let me say again, listen to Black women, but just listen to, but also, we're not going to do it for people. We're not going to
No,
do it for you.
we cannot do it for people. It's not a one group thing.
That's right.
It's
That's
not.
right.
Yeah. And even if it were a one group thing, that's where I'll say, we're not doing it for you.
No.
It doesn't pay off.
Mm-mm.
No,
Hasn't so far. No. That's right.
no.
Now, is there anything you can say as we get close
Mhm.
to the end of the hour?
Mhm.
This was great. Is there anything, not to put you on the spot, but I know today is the new moon.
Yes, it
And the
is.
new moon is what we're welcoming in or what we want to bring
Mhm.
in. Is there anything relative to this conversation that this new moon can inform us about?
Well, this new moon is in Gemini. That
Oh,
means this, the
there we
sun and the
go.
moon are in Gemini, along with Uranus. And Mars isn't quite in Gemini yet. It will be later. So Uranus, moon, and sun are in Gemini.
Okay. So talk, talk,
So
talk.
we,
Listen, listen,
yes.
listen.
So it's not just talk. It's we have to put some action to it. You
Yeah.
have to, we have to try. The moon is how it really is for you when you're not thinking. It's how you automatically are. So in us, there is
Okay.
a conversation that needs, it's going on anyway. We need to become conscious of it. We
Mhm.
need to meet that conversation. So with new moons, I have certain rituals I like to do. And one of them is, especially since it's in Gemini, sit down, just you with you, and write out what you like, six things you do not like about what's going on,
Okay.
and six things you like about what's going on, and six things you would like to have going on.
Oh,
What
okay.
you
All right.
don't like about what's happening, what you like about what's happening, what you would like to be happening,
Hmm.
and to write those out. And then what you have to do is you have to take what you don't want, and then you have to start looking up. You have to start looking not up, but looking within yourself and seeing where you are supporting what you don't want.
Well, like
And
saying, you want to be on the right side of things. You're watching a broadcast like this,
mhm,
but then you're going to type in the comments, yeah, but I'll get fired and lose my health insurance if I go to it.
yes,
So you got to
yes,
check yourself on that. Okay.
yes, you have to. That fear is, it's not serving you, it's serving the oligarchs.
Right.
You can turn that fear into energy. So because it's all about communication. What are you, the new moon is, what are you planting? What seeds are you planting? What are you bringing in? And if you start on today or even tomorrow doing these lists,
Hmm.
you begin to shift the energy ever so subtly on your own. And you get enough people to shift the energy, it becomes an earthquake.
So you're writing these six things down for each category, and then you are
Yes,
doing an inventory of yourself on
yes.
each of those things. Okay.
And you're being honest about it because Gemini doesn't have time for you to go, but but I, no, you have to be honest about it.
Yeah, yeah,
You have to say,
yeah,
you know what, I have a fear here. I've been allowing that to stop me. And you can even tell the truth because the moon's involved. I wasn't even conscious I was allowing that to
yeah, yeah,
stop me.
yeah,
I
yeah,
am now
yeah.
aware that that's possibility.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's about, if you are willing to do that for yourself, a lot shifts, a lot changes. And there are people who could say, well, then what happens? As you explained with quantum physics, it all starts changing, it starts coming
Right.
together. We get enough people, because if you get enough of a view of yourself, you say, you know what? I am sitting here when I could at least show up at somebody's office and collate papers. I didn't say get out there and, and lead the chant. Go collate papers, make
Hmm.
phone calls.
Make phone calls. That's right. Send emails.
So yes, that's Gemini. It's literally telling us, and it's falling, of course, all of this Gemini on the solar returns ascendant
Hmm.
and on the solar returns Uranus and Mars. It's here.
Hmm.
This is happening. We can either be inundated by this wave or we can swim.
Yep.
And I say, get out in front of it and swim
Yeah.
because you're getting wet. It's
Yep.
happening.
Yeah. You're going to get wet regardless. Exactly.
Yes. Mhm.
Sheila, this has been so good. I love talking to you. I always feel energized and uplifted and educated. You're a very good teacher, I have to say.
Well,
I feel
thank
like
you
I
very
always feel
much.
like
And
I
from a
know.
teacher, that means a lot. Yes.
Yeah, I always feel I know a lot more astrology after talking to you.
Mhm.
And you will be back again
Mhm.
next month, and we will
Yes.
we'll look at how things have progressed or
Mhm.
not. But thank you so much, and I'll put all your information in the description of the broadcast, and so how people can contact you. But you're terrific. Um,
Thank you.
your expertise and your calm and your passion all inspire me, and I know that
Mhm.
the audience will feel the same way. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And just to let you know, you're one of my favorite people too.
Oh,
So
well,
I
thank you.
greatly admire you and what you're doing. And what you're doing is very important for all of us. So, and I appreciate you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you. And I will
Mhm.
see everybody, I guess tomorrow, and we'll talk about the post-birthday.
Mhm.
Gosh.
Do well. Good.
Bash. I
Yes.
hope it's a bash in more ways than one, but anyway.
Oh, you and me both. Yes.
All right, I'm going to stop the recording. I'll see you all soon.
Okay. Mhm.